Welcome to This Explainer. If you've been glancing at the news lately, it is so easy to just feel completely overwhelmed by all the economic uncertainty out there. But today, we're flipping the script. We're going to dive into exactly how you can shift from feeling anxious about the economy to becoming an absolutely vital, irreplaceable part of your organization. We're breaking down some incredible source material that basically maps out a personal survival plan for your career. So, what actually separates the indispensable employee from everyone else during a recession? Well, what's really fascinating here is that the answer isn't just about mere survival. It's not about keeping your head down and just praying nobody notices you. No, it's about adopting three distinct pillars of resilience that fundamentally change how you operate and, honestly, how you're perceived by your peers and your leadership. To get there, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with overcoming recession, then look at the diligence learned from Ichiro, move on to language skills and fair spirit, tackle the easily misunderstood concept of full delegation, and finally wrap up with self-protecting Ho-Rin-So. All right, let's jump right into section 1, overcoming recession, employee studies. Look, it's a simple truth. The macroeconomy is intimidating. It just is. But relying purely on macroeconomic hopes or, waiting around for government policies to magically fix the market, that's not going to save you. As the source material points out, when your organization's red warning lights start flashing, you need a personal level salvation plan. And that plan is 100% rooted in creating undeniable, proactive value. You literally have to make yourself the employee they just can't afford to lose. So, how do we build that undeniable value? That brings us to section 2, diligence learned from Ichiro. There's this massive gap between the public myth of success and the actual reality. The public myth loves to lean on this idea of innate genius, right? Like it's just sudden inspiration. But the reality? It's the daily accumulation of effort. It is stubborn, relentless dedication to the craft. Honestly, people love to label successful individuals as geniuses because it kind of helps them avoid facing the sheer, daunting volume of mundane effort those exceptional people actually put in. Attributing someone's success purely to their natural talent is, well, it's actually a way of totally disregarding their daily, unglamorous grind. When you call someone a genius, you're almost dismissing the thousands of hours they spent sweating in the batting cages when absolutely no one was watching. And the author highlights the legendary baseball player Ichiro Suzuki as the absolute ultimate example of this. Think about this. When Ichiro was still playing in Japan, before he was a global superstar, he faced intense pressure from coaches to change his totally unique pendulum swing. They wanted him to conform to the standard way of doing things. They even threatened to demote him to the minor leagues. But he stood his ground. He firmly rejected that average standard to protect and pursue his own unique path. So the crucial takeaway here is that true talent isn't some kind of magic trick. It's actually the ability to maintain unwavering diligence. It's having the stubbornness to refine your own style until you hit that absolute pinnacle of mastery. True genius really only emerges when you push your unique path to its absolute limit, just continuously piling on that daily effort. All right, let's move on to our next pillar, Section 3, Language Skills and Fair Spirit. The text strongly emphasizes that continuous study of a major global language, like English, is quite literally never wasted time. Even during a recession, especially during a recession, companies have to look outward. Investing your time here guarantees long-term returns in your own productivity. It directly expands your future possibilities and your ability to contribute, making you a highly versatile, recession-proof asset. But language is really just the starting point. It's also about adopting a broader mindset. Notice the stark contrast here between a traditional Japanese corporate environment and the American concept of fairness. We're talking about a massive shift, a shift from a system based entirely on seniority, age, and tenure to a merit-based system that judges you purely on your talent, your capability, and your actual results, completely regardless of your background or gender. It's moving from strict seniority to unwavering fairness. To really drive this point home, the author highlights the profound fairness of a society where even the son of a Kenyan immigrant can rise to become the president of the United States. In the text, this is used to demonstrate a really deep cultural belief in human equality and freedom, where your merit genuinely dictates how far you can go. Similarly, the source points to the bold appointment of Condoleezza Rice, an African-American woman, as Secretary of State. It illustrates a culture that prioritizes leveraging talent above all else. And this is exactly the mindset you need to adopt if you want to thrive globally. You have to believe that your capability trumps your demographics. And then you have to continually put in the work to build that capability. Now let's bring these high-level concepts right down to your day-to-day reality in Section 4, Easily Misunderstood Full Delegation. Oh man, this is a trap so many employees fall into. When your boss says, I'm leaving this to you or I'm delegating this project, that is absolutely not a blank check to just go off and do whatever you want in a silo. It simply means your boss cannot physically do that specific part of the task themselves. They are entrusting it to you, yes, but that entrustment inherently requires periodic progress checks. Think about it like this. Imagine you handed your entire life savings over to a bank or an investment firm. You wouldn't just walk away and check back in 10 years, right? No way. You demand regular progress reports. Well, your boss is basically investing the company's resources and their own reputation into you. They expect the exact same level of updates when they hand over a project. And that brings us directly to our final pillar today, Section 5, Self-Protecting Horanso. If you're not familiar, in Japanese business culture, Horanso is a crucial abbreviation for reporting, contacting, and consulting. And let me tell you, it is the ultimate defensive and offensive tool in your career arsenal. The truly indispensable employee doesn't just sit around waiting to be asked for an update. They possess the imagination to step right into their boss's shoes. They proactively anticipate the boss's anxieties. They ask themselves, okay, if I were the boss, when would I start getting worried about this? And then they provide timely updates long before those problems ever arise. Mastering this is pretty straightforward if you follow these 3 clear steps. Step 1, accept the delegated task. Step 2, anticipate your boss's concerns and their perspective. Step 3, execute timely reporting, contacting, and consulting. By actively doing this, you're not just blindly following orders. You're actually managing the professional relationship and practically guaranteeing the project's success. Now, I get it. Sometimes this level of constant communication can feel a bit intense, maybe even a little micromanaging. But the author makes it extremely clear. Strictness from a boss and the requirement of constant reporting are not forms of punishment. They aren't toxic micromanagement. They're actually mechanisms designed to prevent you from making a fatal career-ending mistake. Horanso is a vital safety net. That strictness is actually meant to nurture and protect you, just as much as it protects the company. Finally, the source material introduces this really fascinating concept, treating your education and language skills as a hidden sword. As you communicate with superiors, you should always be polishing the sword of broad knowledge. When you possess a deep well of general knowledge and language proficiency, you maintain a certain level of respect and authority in the room. You ensure that when the crucial moment comes, you're never caught off guard and you're never talked down to. It gives you the quiet confidence to navigate literally any corporate hierarchy. I think this quote perfectly captures the essence of today's explainer. To survive a recession, we must not rely on passive luck, but rather continuously sharpen our skills, effort, and communication. Your job security, especially when the economy takes a hit, is entirely dependent on your proactive diligence, your continuous skill sharpening, and your empathetic communication through Horanso. You don't wait around for luck, you manufacture your own security. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on before your next workday. What is the one skill that you will stubbornly improve tomorrow to make yourself totally indispensable? Channel your inner Ichiro, polish that hidden sword of yours, and start building your undeniable value. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to break down the ideas that shape our world.